Good morning, heart and soul. And happy first day of Pride. You know, we've been doing this for a while. That is to celebrate Pride and to specifically lift it up in the way that we have done, that you just saw with the slideshow. But it feels like this morning, I want to say, for such a time as this, a time when there is the intention and activity of erasure, of cancellation, of denial. And what has always, the antidote, if you will, or an aspect of that, would be to stand in truth. So we'll just continue to stand and declare what we know to be true. So there's something about those who have a different view, or the powers that be or appear to be the power. And I want to say, I really want to land in this place of the appearance of power versus what we know as power. I want to say all caps as a way of distinguishing, which is at the core of each individual's being. And so Pride Month is an opportunity, not unlike Black History and Women's History Month. It's that time where we zero in and we look past the party line. We look to the core of the history of what has already happened, what has already been contributed, and we focus on the now and the infinite possibility that emerges out of this powerful moment called now. So, you know, I love that we have the slideshow and the music is upbeat, but that ain't really it. The thing is it's our version of a prayer of acknowledgement, a prayer of gratitude. Because we know that this now moment is born out of that history. Yeah? Yeah. So look, all of this is an adventure in faith. And so our leadership council of Heart and Soul, Center of Light, had this vision of what can we do, what can we offer, what difference can we make right now for Heart and Soulers, given how things appear to be and are unfolding. And when I say appear to be, sometimes the mirage can feel and look and seem so real, especially after 29,000 people tell you about it. So it might not have appeared that way when you first saw it, but by the time 29,000 people tell you about it, it begins to look and feel different. So our thought was, what can we do? What's our role? What's ours to be and do? And we thought, you know what? We could offer principles of financial freedom. Do not be fooled by the name. It's about financial freedom, but you know, freedom is not specific to anything. You can't be financially free and not be physically, health-wise free. You can't be free in health and not be free in mind. You understand? So if you're free, you're free. So we thought, well, that would be the way to go. And we thought, well, you know what? It's summer, and whoever comes will come. Well, now we have closed the enrollment, closed registration, because we just are beyond capacity. So I'm telling you that because if you're still clicking on the link you were saving for later, you're going to have to join us later. And no offense in that, it just is the way. This could be an opportunity. You know, I said if you get ready, if you're already ready, you don't have to get ready. So here we go. We're committed to making this difference. We're committed to doing this. Also, I just need to tell you that, IJ is on hiatus. Somebody said the revolution will not be televised. It will also not be paused for hiatus. And so IJ is hosting, supporting this right of return pilgrimage. And we love that we were invited through IJ for the pilgrimage to stop at Heart and Soul. So we're asking you if you will please help donate water and snacks, or we're going to ask you to make a contribution towards that, but also show up next Sunday at 3 p.m. That's when they're expected to be here. There will be a choir performance that will also happen at that time. But most importantly, in any movement, there's something for everyone to do. Sometimes it's handing out a bottle of water for the ones who are able to go make the walk, to make the pilgrimage trek. There's something for you to do. It might just be a part of the prayer circle. Just lift your voice. It might be to just appreciate the choir. There's something for each and every one of us to do. So I invite you, I implore you to come show up next Sunday at 3 p.m. right here so that you can be a part of this. And then, of course, I'm asking you to mark on your calendar our summer school. A deeper dive from the inside out beginning, it's for 4 Wednesdays, July 23rd through August 13th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We played this out a lot where we usually tried to we started at 6:30 for a while and then we backed it up we just got tired of asking y'all for a little more time. So now we just said, let's just claim the 2 hours. If we get out early, we will, but we're going to quit begging for a few more minutes just because we didn't set the time exactly right. So save the date, get it on your calendar so we can make the kind of difference that we're intended to make. This moment right here is complete. It is whole. It contains absolutely everything required for your highest and best. The question becomes whether you're going to tap into that moment, this here right now, or whether you're going to go back and pick up some mess. Or whether you're going to buy into the pundits, or whether you're on social media at the effect of the algorithm. Y'all don't know nothing about the algorithm to understand that whatever it is you're choosing will then choose you time over time over time. Yes? But in what? In the land of I am, there are other options. There's another way to know, another way to be that ensures that you're not at the effect of the okie doke. Yes? Yes? Are y'all? Yes? Okay. Okay, because look, this notion, I've been doing my best to bring to you this awareness of the audacity of hope and to hope. What this is saying is regardless of what's going on, regardless of how it looks, regardless of what they're saying, you still have the audacity, the gumption, the boldness, the courage, the confidence to choose something else. All your neighbors, all your friends, all them. But you are in the land of I am and you know it. That's the difference. We all are. But the difference in this is that you know you are. You know that you have a certain power that is infinite in its nature. So I know you touched into it and used it week before last. As you were waiting for the mail to come, I know you tapped into the power. There have been many situations where you knew, and many times it's from our very knees. From our very knees that we tap in. It's in that moment where we decide we don't have nothing else, we may as well just let go and let it. So it's not like this is new to us. There's not a one of us that has not at some point tapped in. doctor's office, waiting on the lab report. There are those moments when we know where to go, where we know what to say, we know what to believe. We know how to stand in something that we can't even explain or we don't even understand. But we know where to get. In a place of power in our thinking and in our knowing. Yes? And that's what we're talking about. It's the audacity, the absolute audacity to stand in new ways. You know, I came to you a few weeks ago saying that every one of us, even one person anchored in hope, in clarity, and divine possibility can lift the world. Now, I don't care if you believe me. What I want you to do is test it. There's a phrase we use in financial freedom. If this were true for me, would I be more free? So don't believe me, don't argue with me, don't pull me aside to give me your version. Just give it the truth test is what financial freedom calls it. If that were true for me, this idea that even one person grounded in truth and willing and available to divine power, that one person changes the game. Don't believe me? Do the truth test. If that were true for me, would I be more free? And if you wouldn't be, then move on. But if you would be, take note. Get busy being in the awareness that you don't have to wait on the crowd. You don't have to look at how many mentions and how many likes, because it doesn't matter. Are you liking the truth? Are you engaged in the truth? That's how, if it get one from you, that's enough. That's what this is saying in the current vernacular. Yes? Okay. Now, then I came back and I said, hope is not wishful thinking. You know, now it's not as high on the vibrational scale as we intend to be. Like hope doesn't vibrate at the same level as faith and love, and even peace and joy. But I ain't mad about that because you have to get in where you fit in. So if you like in depression, then hope is a way good thing. If you're in doubt and fear, then I'm saying hook your line for hope. Does this make sense? Yes? Okay, because hope is its own, it's a spiritual force, and it ignites divine power, but you got to be in it. See, you can't ignite nothing remotely. Right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do remotely. There's a lot of, but you can't ignite life. And the living of it, the transform life remotely, you got to get in it. Actively engage in it. Lord, I hope this is making sense, because today, what I want you to meet me, and all this month, we're going to be focused on the audacity to/of whatever we add. So today, it's the audacity to act. It's pride. It's pride. And there has always, the interesting thing about pride, similar to the civil rights movement as it was actualized by black folks in the 50s, well, forever, let me just say, is that there was always this action against them. Y'all understand? Now some, because up until more recently, there had been what appeared to be acceptance, inclusion. Yes? Yes, and some would say that we had begun making major headway in that. And if you're paying any attention now, you know that there are powers that are working to shut that down. But can I just tell you that this isn't our first rodeo? This is not our first rodeo. This is not, think Reconstruction. This is not the first time that change took place and folks who felt that they had the power made every effort to shut it down. And what I'm wanting you to notice is I'm not trying to pretend like the shutdown part didn't happen. What I'm wanting you to know is that everybody didn't go for it. Everybody wasn't as afraid as they had intended. Everybody didn't shut down their operation. Everybody didn't quit praying for right. Everybody didn't quit marching, didn't quit the covert activity of the revolution. Because they're right, it's not going to be televised. But there will be the revolutionaries who will always know the truth and live and act accordingly with audacity. The audacity to act even though somebody acts like it's illegal. Come on, Mother Harriet. Come on, Mother Harriet. It was not legal for you to get up and go. But somebody has to have the audacity to make a move anyhow. Like that don't have nothing to do with me. Yes. Yes. So look, for pride, we're living out loud in living color. I am divinely optimistic. Say this with me, if you can. Now, if you can't claim it, it's work. Some would say fake it till you make it. So you decide. But we're going to affirm together, I am divinely optimistic. Let's do this again so everybody can catch on. I am divinely optimistic. Come on. This notion of optimism is an opening. It's a spiritual principle actualized. I'm optimistic. I'm open to something happening, something else. Yet, see, you don't need optimism if the thing is just moving right along the way you want it to go. You need to be optimistic if you see the hole in it. If you see where this is headed, this ain't going to work the way, it blesses all of us. So your optimism is key. Why? Because this is an energetic universe. And if you're not optimistic, I'm asking you what you is. What exactly are you bringing to the party? If you're not bringing optimism, what are you bringing? And it's an energetic universe. So what's the impact of what you're bringing? Can I encourage you to bring optimism? The moment you can come to yourself enough to say, wait a minute, what's driving my thinking, my being right now? Now, if you're not conscious, see this, look. If you're not conscious, I've been there, where lost my mind, swirling in this field of grief and pain. And now what I have to do is surround myself with somebody who's going to shake me. Y'all know, shake me, wake me till it's over. Yes? So somebody who can come to the rescue and speak a treatment, somebody who can speak an affirmation or show me something in my own book. Somebody who could get in there and say, page whatever. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not that to a person we don't know, it's simply that we can slip and fall and lose consciousness to our highest and best. So you want to, as Psalm 1 encourages us to do, to surround ourselves. It makes the difference with who you're going to be around. So you surround yourself with somebody who'd be going to say, now, you don't want everybody to agree with your crazy. There needs to be somebody on your list of people who'll say, what? Heck no. Or whatever they need to say in the vernacular to get your attention. To say, have you lost your dang mind? Somebody, or maybe they need to get a group and have an intervention. I don't know what's required, but I know you want to surround yourself with folks who know the truth, and y'all don't all go crazy at the same time. Yes, if two of y'all are out there in the wilderness, the rest can call you back. Yes? Okay. All right, so there's the audacity to act, and that's part of that. To tell your friend, your sister, your brother, no, that's not so. That's an algorithm, and you have bought into it, and now you are spouting something that was never true, but we're about to make it true. Why? Because it's an energetic universe, and we are putting energy where we do not want it to multiply. But it's the nature of the principle, the process. That's how it works. Yes. Oh, Lord, come on now. So look, I love this. I'm going to continue to invoke Thomas Troward because I want us to really get this. He says, limitations surround us. Whatever limitation, this isn't no special brand of limitation. Whatever limitation you have on your altar that you have been praying to, that you've been worshiping, and I don't mean you have literally taken a limitation and put it on the altar. I mean your behavior. Your behavior by what you focus on, what you hold in your mind, what you speak about, what you sleep about, what you pray about, what you dream about. That's what I'm talking about, yes? So look, that limitation, he says, we have it in our life because we believe in our inability to do and have what we desire. Shut up, Thomas. Because he just called us on all our stuff. All of it, right there simply. You have it because you've been focused on it. You have it because you allow it to remain in your life. You have it because you keep talking about it. You have it because you keep playing with it. You keep entertaining it. Yes, you have it because you've given it space to expand and express in and as you. He says, like we didn't already get it. He said, whenever we say, I cannot, he said, we are brought up sharp by a limitation. That's us affirming. See, that's what I'm calling worshiping at the altar of. Just when we say, I cannot have it. I cannot be, and there's, you see what's going on right now gives us a lot of opportunity to say I can't, because look, it's illegal. I can't because they're stripping it off all the sites. I can't because what I'm trained in is DEI, and now I can't anytime you say it. But look at who we are. If we were not a resilient people, can I tell you we would not be here? Not a one of us. Not a one of us would be here. Resilience is who and how we are. The audacity to rise up. The audacity to live through it. The audacity to thrive anyhow. That's us. So don't act like we don't know what audacity is and how to engage it and how to be it and how to have our lives unfold out of it. This is selective amnesia. It's not cute on us. We don't always have to be cute, but everybody ought to have a little cute. And this notion of audacity, the audacity to say, I'm going to anyhow. I believe it and I'm going to stand in my belief. Yes? So he says if we say I can't, that reinforces, that puts a post in our limitation. He says, and in that moment, we cease to exercise our thought power in that direction, in the direction of whatever it is. So there's a direction and we're in it, and then we say, I can't. Well, not necessarily like that. We say, I can't. Yes? So he says that does a whole thing, that activates our limitation. He says that we cease in that moment, and you can feel it in yourself. Don't act like you don't already know this. He's reminding us. He says that in that moment we cease, we stop, we no longer are engage our thought power in the direction of our success, in the direction of our heart's desire, in the direction of what it is that we want, what it is that we need, what it is that we love. Yes? And we believe ourselves stopped by something outside of ourselves. This is key. This is key. And this is what we'll say too. Well, why didn't you do? Well, you see, they changed the law. I can no longer, I have to have real ID or whatever it is. See, there's something outside of you that has stopped you. They'd changed the regulations. They'd moved the location. It's harder to do or to be or to have. It's something, see, he's telling you it's going to look like it's not you. But I have come to tell you with love and with a kind, soft voice that it's you. It's you. It's what we believe and what we are affirming and knowing about ourselves. It's from the inside out. He says whenever this occurs and we decide that it's an outside, there's a wall. Come on, Mother Harriet, there's a wall and you can't escape, baby. Yeah, you're right. I'm crazy, she said. Because it doesn't matter that there's a wall. It doesn't matter that there's a law. It doesn't matter that there's slave catchers out there. It doesn't matter that they got dogs. It doesn't matter that at some point I'm going to have a seizure out here. None of that matters. Because there's a divine vibration of freedom, of liberation, of love and inclusion, of another way that is vibrating in me, and I'm not going to sleep until I can be and do it. That's true for all of us. So many of us have denied it for so long we believe it's true. So many of us have supplanted it for so long that we doubt that we can do it. We see it in others and we say, oh, so-and-so can do it because, I don't know, they got 3 feet, 4 hands. I don't know what we think other people have. But that's why we have Mother Harriet here. But we do that to people, don't we? We make them superhuman. They're the only ones who can do that. Yes? And he says whenever this occurs, we're subjected to bondage. And then, of course, we have to find whoever imprisons us, who bound us. And we're good at this. Oh, we're really good at identifying who got us in this mess. And I don't know how long it would take, how long we'd have to talk before we got to our own name on the list. Yes? Y'all at home, can you see that this has, the way I talk about it, it has my fingerprints on it. See, I know I'm all up in my life. Now, there are moments when I am in another state of mind and I can't get to it. This, I've told you, this right here, this is not a mountaintop teaching. Some of y'all could give testimony. I hadn't seen her in the valley. I was ashamed to know. I was like, Rev, get up out the valley. I'm bringing people to church. Can you just, I don't want nobody to see you in the valley. But I was having a valley experience that took as long as it took. Now, how long it took was determined by how long it took me to come to my senses, to tell myself the truth, or somebody to get there and tell me the truth. So I'd go, oh, sure enough. Sure enough, let me in. And I picture myself, like you just start getting your little stuff. And because sometimes you've been there long enough to have some stuff. You got some accoutrement there in the valley. You know what I mean? Your little special stuff, your little favorite stuff. So you could be comfortable down in the dredges. Truth illumines your awareness, and you go, oh, Lord. Because I think the first thing that happens is you go, oh, that's true. And then you'd be like, what the? How'd I get here? Like, what am I doing down in here with snacks? What? What am I doing with all my little favorite snacks down here? And then if you got good sense, you what? You just tip on up out of there. Yeah, you just be like, ooh. And here's what I can offer y'all. Leave the snacks. Just leave. They're contaminated. They are now contaminated. So look, sometimes it helps us to see how others, not so that we can put them on a pedestal and make them special, but so that we can see, oh my goodness, there is a way out of the darkness, and I can find it. Yes? So I'm going to take you to Stonewall, 1969. Now look, what makes 1969 special, significant, worth mentioning here is because for several years before that, let's say decades, what happened that night had been happening. I mean, there's up to a certain point. So what's happening is the police raid, and they're busting heads and taking folks out. And there was this little rule that anyone in there must be wearing at least 3 items of clothing properly representative of their gender, of their birth gender. Can I just say, between us, that's too much. That's too much. That's just too much right there. But it goes to show you that sometimes we get to see the ridiculousness right there. So if you, it's okay, 2, yeah, no, come with us. What? Okay, so look, what was different in June, June 28th, I think, either the 27th or 28th is the literal anniversary. On that particular date, what was different was they fought back. That there was a moment that, have you not had that in your life? Where it's the okie doke, you on the job, they just, the family, the neighbors, at the grocery store, wherever you go, there's something, and you just didn't had enough. Over it. And in that moment, would it be okay if I just said you grow a backbone? And you go, I know they're in here knocking heads, but I'm just going to stand. I'm going to stand right up for it. In fact, I may get a few blows in myself. I don't know. I'm not showing up here with that intention. I'm trying to clean it up because I know it's being recorded. So I'm not coming with that. But if that's what happens, then I don't know. But I'm certainly not condoning or promoting that. But I know that some of y'all can't help yourselves. But here's the thing. This history of Stonewall and what it represents is often told in the before and after. You see, before Stonewall, folks were just trying to get in there and hope they made it out. Get in there and hope. But after, they knew something. You see, hope can be part of the conduit for us. You see, we only hope if we think there's another option. So we're hoping that it's going to be okay, which I'm going to say exposes that there really isn't okay. There really is, and somebody's kind of tuned into it. It might be a little weak transmission, but we're hoping that there's another way and it's going to be revealed. And then looky here, it's revealed. So right now, at the entrance of the Stonewall Inn, and let me just say that there are those who apparently have nothing better to do than scrub websites. Of key phrases. So right now, if you go to read about Stonewall, you wouldn't know that there was a trans presence at Stonewall consistently that made the difference, that participated, that was a part of what was going on, because there was such a strong animosity against the trans community, that was a huge part of how all of this was happening anyhow. But right now, there is a campaign to scrub websites. So it's the removal of all phrasing and terminology, if you will, that bring that to mind. So as I say this, as I share with you, I'm wanting you to know we've been here before. We've been here before where there were powers who wanted to erase whole peoples, whole group, and the group just changes. Ask the Native American people. It just moves, and we're gonna get to you. We'll be over there in a minute. Does this make sense, y'all? Okay. So at the entrance of the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village hangs a placard. This is the placard that the police hung on the front door following the events 6 decades ago in June. This is a rated premise. So that was on the door to keep it closed. You understand what I'm like we might use police tape right now. But this was the official thing, and it's now framed. And held there, this is a rated premise. Look, I'm saying to you this morning that everything that I feel like I've ever spoken about, every message, I know I brought you different titles and little different slides and different stuff, but when you synthesize it, I've always been talking about the same thing all the time. And this morning, I'm appealing to you to say, do not allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear. I'm not saying at all that there isn't fear mongering going on. So there's an intention. And here's the thing with my understanding of the way these algorithms are working. They are set to work in a way, at least right now, where the negative comments have like a boost to them. I don't know the terminology that y'all, if you were given a talk that you would do, you'd be much more polished than I. But what I want you to know is that the negative comments are like turbocharged. So they get boosted and the response to them, even if it's bots or humans, it doesn't matter. What it is designed to make you think is there are way more folks who think that way and act that way than there really are. That's the truth. There are not that many, but because there are not that many, they got to work harder to have you think that there's not a corner you can turn where they won't be. Where there's all the corners you'll turn where they're not, because you're not going to see them if you're not looking for them. It doesn't matter what they do. Okay. All right. So look. Don't be paralyzed. I'm imploring you to not be paralyzed by fear, by threats, by what we call the times. or events of this time. And it's obvious why this is essential. And yet I want to say to you, we have work to do. But we will not be able to do that work paralyzed. Amen. Amen. This is not work that can be done from fetal position. Right. This is not work that can be done cowering in the shadows. Yes. This is the work that requires the audacity of the Stonewall folks. The audacity. You know, I've been talking about the Montgomery boycott, bus boycott. And I chose that very specifically because I think it has audacity just embedded in it. So first of all, I've been talking about Georgia Gilmore, who just was key. I'm going to get to that later, but I want to drop this because what was true is I think she had been boycotting 2 months before the boycott began. And it was because she and her mother were boycotting and doing something else to get to where they had to get to because they had had the last verbal abuse. And then backbone. Don't we experience that where your backbone just like straightens up and you got to do something different? So look, when we hear it told that way, there's no pause where it tells you the drama and some of the mess that folks had to deal with. So this notion, what King brought was the nonviolence. It was also this dictate of love supreme over everything. But can I just say that this had Bayard Rustin's fingerprints all over it? All over it, because a thing about the civil rights movement that was built on his back in many ways was not willing to put him out front because of the perceived risk visual, the risk of the visual of an out gay man being the engine behind within. Does that make sense? Okay, so they worked hard to include him without him being seen and without it being known. So he's often just a footnote when he should have been the headline. Yes? So look, I also wanted to say that $3,000 a day that the bus company, that's in 1956 dollars. I'm just saying, I just didn't want us to get lost. So look, let me share this about Bayard. It is said that he advised King, and we know that across time, but very specifically about the bus boycott. And so what I'm going to share with you is a diary entry of Bayard Rustin's, a diary entry in his hand from February 24th, 1956. He writes, 42,000 Negroes have not ridden the buses since December 5. On December 6th, the police began to harass, intimidate, and arrest Negro taxi drivers who were helping get these people to work. It thus became necessary for the Negro leaders to find an alternative, the carpool. Now, allow me to say this, because sometimes when we talk about the boycott, we hit the high notes. And so we're not talking about the harassment and how the Klan was involved in trying to interrupt this experience, this boycott. And so what you have here is the black taxi drivers are supporting it. So now they're arresting them. Now, I just want you to know that for some of us, we're out. They're arresting the taxi drivers. I'm out. I'm sorry. I was in, but I'm out now. You understand how we see it? How we see it. But what I'm trying to tell you, well, here you go. Maybe that's all right. I'm not criticizing that. Because what I just saw in my mind's eye is, okay, so that line is out. So now we step up. So there's a whole line of us who say, okay, so the taxi, so we're going to have to find out something else. We're not ending it because the black taxi cab drivers are being arrested. We're going to get some bail money. Who can help with that? And can I just tell you that Walter Rutherford, who we know was with the auto union. I can't quite get, United Auto Workers, that's what I want to say. So he was president, gave in $56, I think it was, oh Lord, are you in the notes here? Because I want to tell you right. $5,000, which would be like $59,000 today. Okay, so there are those folks who are forever in position. Okay, they arrested him. We got the bail money. Let's keep going. That's what I'm talking about for all of us. Okay. So the alternative, the carpool, he says they set up 23 dispatch centers where people gather to wait for free transportation. Now that doesn't automatically, you don't get 23 dispatch centers just by saying, let's have some dispatch centers. You got Bayard Rustin's genius for organizing and strategizing. So they're setting up dispatch centers and having stuff work. That's how the Washington March came to be, because he knew how to do this and was not scared to do it. She said with love. So this morning, he writes, Rufus Lewis, director of the pool, invited me to attend the meeting of the drivers. On the way, he explained that there are 3 methods in addition to the carpool for moving the Negro population: hitchhiking, the transportation of servants by white housewives. Y'all better ask somebody, because they were not going to have their meals not cooked, those children not nursed and cared for. Y'all need to get how this thing really, pull the veil so we can get this. And walking. Later, he introduced me to 2 men, one of whom has walked 7 miles and the other 14 miles every day since December 5. There's a whole health thing that's popping off as well. I'm just going to say that part too. Okay. The success of the carpool is at the heart of the movement, Lewis said at the meeting. It must not be stopped. I wondered what the response of the drivers would be, since 28 of them had just been arrested on charges of conspiring to destroy the bus company. One by one, they pledged that if necessary, they would be arrested again and again. The audacity to be optimistic that what you're doing now can make a difference later. So look, I got to wrap this up right now. Let me just end with Georgia Gilmore's end, that she played a pivotal role. As you know, I've done my best to share about that. What I want you to let me say, last week there was a question: how does optimism align with the reality of laws being enacted that threaten people's safety? People's safety has always been threatened when you go against the powers that be. Always have. Always have. Let me just say that. Our optimism can be our engine. That sparks our willingness to do something different, to show up, to say something different, to stand more erect even, more purposefully. When we share with you every week that the red cards are out there and that there's a immigrant policy center and an LGBT asylum project, it's our way of saying that there's some folks who are optimistic, that the work that they're doing can make a difference. Help them. Help them for the outcome. We've been reading I'm Divinely Optimistic from 365 Days for Richer Living, and I promised you we'd get through. We're going to have to wait till another day, another time. Look. Because what this requires, and this is what Gilmore was doing, is what Gladys Knight and the Pips, that I really got to use my imagination to think of what good reasons to keep on keeping on. Y'all, this is my community right here. Because y'all know what time it is. We got to think, it's up to you. You're going to have to come up with a good reason to keep playing, to do the right thing. It's up to you to come up with it. We're going to make the best of what? A bad situation. And then I love this part. Ever since that day I woke up and found, and I'm not going to ask you to, because the rest of it is open. The day that I woke up and found out that bills had been introduced, that websites were being scrubbed, that the algorithm is working to help control my behavior. Ever since that day that I realized that something else was required of me. Darkness all around me, blocking out the sun. But emptiness has found me, but I just won't, and it won't let me go. I keep right on living. I've really got to use, and you have to use, I have to use my imagination to figure all of this out and to set it up for the long term. So Georgia Gilmore, on the, okay, she, oh shoot, Andriette. Here it is. Okay. So she died on March 7th, 1990, and that was the 25th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery March. And despite being advised by her doctor to stop cooking, she woke up early to prepare the chicken and potato salad for the people marching in the commemoration. And instead, her family served the food to the people who came to mourn her. So she died doing what she was committed to doing to make a difference in the movement. Years later, her sister Betty said, lots of people brought food to the house, but everybody ate George's chicken and potato salad first, because nobody could fix it better.